first reading, we hear from Acts chapter 15, really the first controversy in the church, really the first theological question that the church has to grapple with. In the ancient communities, as Paul and Barnabas and others are starting to convert the Gentiles, some of the converts are told that they must follow the Jewish laws, the Torah, specifically the dietary laws and the requirement for circumcision were big roadblocks, and we can understand why. Those were massive things that they were asking of these converts that other people, like Paul and Barnabas, were saying, it's not necessary for the Gentiles to do these things. And so they ask the apostles. They seek the guidance of the leaders of the church in Jerusalem. And we heard their response. But did you listen carefully to what they said when they gave their judgment? It is the decision of the Holy Spirit and of us. That's really interesting and gets to something really essential about what we believe the church to be. That the Holy Spirit isn't just God floating around, guiding us spiritually. And the Holy Spirit is actually practically guiding the church towards right decisions. We believe that we just witnessed this a few weeks ago at the election of Pope Leo. That the Holy Spirit guided the College of Cardinals to select Cardinal Prevost. And that so long as they are open individually and as a body, the Holy Spirit can move them towards the right decision. We heard in our gospel, Jesus is wrapping up his farewell discourse, giving his disciples the final instructions before he is taken away from them. And he says to them, the Father will send the Spirit in my name. This gets to another really important question for us Christians. And it might seem like it's secondary, like it's part of, just, it's something for theologians to think about. And yet every Sunday we stand and say, the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. Now, I won't get into a deep dive onto the spiration of the Holy Spirit. That's what it's called. But that decision is what made the Eastern churches separate from us 1,000 years ago, in 1054, the Filioque and the Son. And so our beliefs about the Holy Spirit have really real-world consequences. They affect not just our lives as a church, but the way we interact with each other, the way we interact with the wider world. And so I think the question kind of begs itself. What does the Holy Spirit do for me? How does it function in my life? What should I seek from the Holy Spirit? Whenever you look into the influence of politics on culture, it's a very interesting dynamic. Politics always influences culture. Culture being the wider way in which we interact with each other, the way in which we speak, the way we take in media, how we learn. But in our modern age, in the era of social media, that dynamic has changed, and I think we're still figuring out the rules as to how culture is influenced through social media, and more particularly, how politics influence culture through social media. Because now, brothers and sisters, every person has access to every idea. The internet gives us the ability not just to read the various treatises on politics or the various breakdowns of culture that have been written over the centuries, but we could just get a quick summary on TikTok, 1 minute. And it's influencing us. It's working. the way that we think, the way that we interact with each other, the way we live in the world is being heavily influenced by what we're seeing on the internet, specifically social media. And so much of it tells us one simple thing. If you want to be successful, do X. Man, all you need to do is to get into this particular business and you'll be making 6 figures in 3 years. Oh, this is a simple way to make $1,200 of passive income per month. Just follow these 5 easy steps. This is how you communicate well. You need to, put your shoulders back, keep your chin up, talk blah, 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 blah. And when you learn these things, when you start to do these things, when you start to go to the gym every day, when you start to make real money, when you finally confront your boss about that promotion, when you make the right friends, when you're with the right people, when you do this, when you do that, then you'll be successful. And it's a lie. It's all a lie. Because, brothers and sisters, everything you need to be successful, to be truly successful, was given to you at baptism. Jesus said in our gospel that those who keep his commandments, who listen to his words, the Father and I will make our dwelling with him. We believe that at our baptism, as Catholics, we received the gift of the Holy Spirit, that it is our possession, that he resides right here in each and every one of us. Do we believe that? Do we live our lives in accord with that belief? That the font of every virtue, the giver of every good gift, the one who produces all the fruit that the earth can bear for us, is already inside you. Need a bit of courage in your life? Got to have a tough conversation with a loved one, and you're afraid. Because you know you need to say something, but you don't know how. And this conversation, if it doesn't go well, it could be the end of our relationship. Do you just think about it? Ponder what you're going to say? Pace back and forth? Or do you ask God for the courage that you already possess, to be brought forth? Do you need to make a tough decision? Like a life-changing decision? Whether I'm going to go here for school or go there for school. Whether I'm going to keep living in Maryland or move to this state. Whether I'm going to take that job or keep my current job. Whether I'm going to marry this person or break off the engagement. Do you just talk about that stuff with trusted advisors? Watch movies, listen to podcasts? Or do you ask God for the wisdom that only he can provide? The wisdom you already possess. Do you have doubts? Do you struggle with your faith? Is there one particular church teaching that you say, I'm not on board with that one? That's just a secondary teaching, though. It's not integral to my faith. I can still be a good Catholic. And we just keep going, that mentality. Week after week, month after month, year after year. Or do we ask God, who is the giver of the gift of faith, to open your heart to the truth, to help you to believe in that which is difficult to believe, because the faith already is inside you. You just have to get out of the way. The Holy Spirit will teach you everything and will remind you of all that I told you. If we believe that He's right here, then all we have to do is ask Him for help. All we have to do is discover He who resides, who has made His dwelling within us, to give us that which we already possess. We have everything we need to be truly successful in this life. You and I just need to get out of the way and let God do it for us.